Monday. But I am here now. This whole video that I planned is going to be really weird because it's the wrong way around. But I was looking for things recently and I found this, which is backwards. If you can read it forwards, it says, I am the Lady of Dunans. Somebody a while ago bought me one of those things where where you can buy like lordships or ladyships and stuff like that, and they're not really particularly genuine. But apparently in Scotland, if you're a landowner, you can call yourself a laird or a lady. So the thing is, this thing here, what happens is you buy about a foot of land, which in Scottish law apparently a foot of land means nothing. It's completely pointless. A foot of land does not mean you're a landowner, it just means you've got a foot of land. And I think it's at the top of a mountain. So it's like sort of probably up like that, and it's like a foot of land in there. I did think when I got it, because I had to actually send off and ask for this, even though it was a gift, to make sure that it was a proper, so that I'm a proper, I had the choice of being a laird or a lady, and I could have been a laird, but then I thought, no, I'll be a lady, and hello Midland Scopes, I thought, shall I be a laird or shall I be a lady? So I'm a lady. Now, I mean, actually, if you're getting like a cash card or something like that, you can put any title you want. So if you wanted to be a lady or a lord or a doctor, nobody's going to stop you, even if you're not actually a lady or a lord or a doctor. So technically, you don't even have to buy it. You can just go, yeah, I am. Whether it actually means anything is another thing. But whether any title means anything, because, king. What does that mean? Certainly in today's society, if you call yourself king, then what does that mean? I mean, king technically doesn't mean anything, but probably, I mean, this says, this deal of entitlement is dated the 11th of September in the year 2015. I didn't realise it was the 11th of September 2015, so I could have done this yesterday, and then it would have been, between Charles Selwyn Dixon Spain, Esquire, the Laird of Dunans Castle, of Dunans Gladule Argyle, hereinafter called the vendor. Now I looked him up. What he's bought, it might make what this laird has done. He actually bought a castle from somebody else who was the previous laird. So he's just bought it himself, and he's quite cleverly thought this castle needs to be done up quite a lot. If I can make money by selling this like piece of my land, probably up the side of a mountain, to a lot of people, then they will fund my refurbishment of my hair's all over the place, the refurbishment of my castle. So him and his wife have done this, and they've basically sold tiny bits of that. But I've looked it up. I looked into that. I thought, what would happen if I contacted all the other people that have done this, and we all got together to have a cartel, and then we did something with the land, and we all got together, and then we built a big castle, and going, ha ha ha, we've got a castle now on our land. But apart from the fact I think it's up a mountain, I didn't really check it out, but I'm assuming it's like that. Apart from that, there is something in it saying that you can't build on it. So my foot of land is pointless. But I did find this, that I've never actually, there's a thing, this is backwards again, but it's a free Dunans tour. So if I ever am in the Highland, Dunans, Glenardrule, Argyle, if I ever am in the Highlands, then I'm entitled, probably, this is a while ago, so maybe it's already gone. Having registered your gift, you can enjoy numerous laird-based perks. In addition to your free tour and fishing rights, I've got fishing rights, oh good. By appointment with the proprietors, you can now find a host of other laird-based benefits online. I could get a laird or lady email address and get some stationery with letterheads and purchase exclusive Dunans merchandise. I'm sure I can do that anyway. Find out more about... So it's basically... I mean, it's not a scam, because who actually would believe that this is a real thing? It's basically a sort of crowdfunding way of funding his refurbishments, which I think, that's a nice thing to do. If you realise that, and you realise that you're not an actor... I don't know whether there's a pond or not. I haven't really checked it out. I haven't really looked into it at all, because I forgot that I got this. But it's Dunans Castle. I don't know how much of a castle it is. All those pieces of land and heredments, la-di-da-di-da. contain the remains or remnants or restored structures of the self-stone, measuring some several acres, but excluding those buildings. What? Further, oh, I'm not sure what it is. Anyway, basically, I can't build on my 1 foot of land, and neither can anyone else, even if we all got together and had a revolution. So, but really, in Scottish law, you can say that you're a laird or a lady if you're a landowner. So, even if you've got a backyard, that makes you a laird. Hooray! You're a laird of that. And I was thinking I didn't have any Scottish ancestry, but I've been doing this family history, and I actually found in 1550 somebody from, it wasn't Argyll, it was Aberdeen. So I found somebody from Aberdeen who moved to Devon. In 1550 she was born, she moved to Devon some years after that, but her name doesn't seem to be transcribed properly because it says Espalaith Crowney. So I'm assuming she was something like Elspeth Crown, but Espalaith Crowney is what she's written down on all the things, and I can't see the original documents, but there's a couple of different ones, and there's different transcriptions of different documents, and it all looks a little bit wrong. So I have got Scottish ancestry, so I'm a laird, I'm a lady, I'm a lady laird, a lady laird lady. Possibly. I've got a whole one person. Midlands Goat, you're the only person watching me. Honour! It's a one person show starring one person in the audience, which is, just like Edinburgh all over again. Yes, so Dunhan's Castle. I'm not sure if if anyone is from Argyll, you can visit and tell me what it looks like. I probably need to look it up. I haven't, again, I forgot about it, so I didn't, but it's very generous of the person. Landowners, well, it wasn't the landowners so much as the people that were writing down there's a lot of really old documents and you can't read it. That I found also in Devon somebody called Joan Hernama, and I'm like, that's not a name, but I looked it up and there's a lot of Devonshire families from the 1600s and 1700s called Hernama. And then nowhere else. I looked up the name Hernama. I'm like, is that a real name? And the only place that I can find it anywhere in today's days, in the day and age of today, now, is in Indonesia. So I'm like, are they Indonesian? But they were in Devonshire in the 1600s. But it's possible. I mean, what with that? I don't know, because the genetic thing where I've got a little bit of Asian genes, and I don't know how or why. Very possible that like an Indonesian sailor sailed to Devonshire in the 1600s and decided to settle there. I don't know, but Hernama, and it's got like a little sort of, I don't know what that's a sort of little squiggly thing over the A in the one that I found. That was actually the original document. Well, not the original, but like a scan of the original document. So Hernamya, I thought maybe it was Hermania, like it was Spanish or something, but it seems to be that a lot of people from that time period are called that name, and they're in 2 or 3 Devonshire villages. My hair's all over the place, isn't it? That's not going to help. That's really not helping, is it? I'm one-handed. It's just what? Anyway, so Hanyama, and they're not lords or ladies, but they might be, because the further back in time you go, the more you end up finding lords and ladies, actual lords and ladies. In everyone's family there is lords and ladies, so I could probably genuinely call myself a Lady Elise and probably have some sort of basis for it. But you could do that anyway. I mean, Lady Gaga, who gave her that title? Who? Lady Marmalade. How did she get that title? How, Lady Marmalade? How did you get that title? Is it a sort of continental type? This is just all over the place. My goodness me. Like all of one person watching me, looking like a complete actual state at the moment. So I washed my hair and I can't do a thing with it. It doesn't look like I washed it. I did. It just looks really ridiculous. Now this is probably my Melanesian genes expressing themselves at this late date. Melanesian, Indonesian, same difference. So that's probably where it came from, is from the Hanyamas families, and that's why my hair is all over the place at the moment. Yes, so I am a lady, a marine lady. Yeah, I've got perks and I can do fishing if I want to. Now that's a bit inconvenient because I've recently turned more or less, not entirely vegan, not entirely, but I'm also trying to eat better because I've found that I've been avoiding gluten for a long time, and I found that now if I have any, then I go all shaky and weird, and my fingers feel like they've gone all numb, and I can't feel my face for several hours. And I've been avoiding that, and I've been trying to eat better, and it's just not really working because everything that I eat seems to set me off. So I don't know what that is. So fishing rights are probably of no use to me at all. I've never been fishing anyway. I'm never planning to go fishing, but maybe I can send somebody that does want to go fishing to my. I don't know whether I'm going to have a look at. I'm going to look it up on Google Maps, and I'll try and find my 1 square foot and locate it, and just put a little X on them, and I'll just go, that's mine. Maybe I'll go to there and I'll draw something on my square foot, and then it'll be visible from the sky on Google Maps, because I have been looking on like Google Earth, and there's a mountain quite near my parents' house that has got all weird squiggly lines and hatches, cross hatches. It looks like all sorts of drawings on the top of the mountain. And somebody said that they looked it up on Bing when I pointed this out, and it's not there. So it must be recent. So somebody's drawn all over the top of a mountain, and it's visible from space. So I'm not sure 1 square foot of land is going to be visible from space. But that's one thing we can do. I can get all the other people that have got this land the map coordinates for my land. I think I do, but I need to. I mean, offhand, I can't. I remember looking it up at the time and going, "Oh, that's nice." And I think it is halfway up a mountain. It's on a bit of craggy rock that they can't really do anything with. You can't really use it for grazing or growing. But if we all got together, me and all the people that own the other land, and we draw a big picture of I was gonna say something rude, but yes, we draw something rude on it, and it's visible from space. I don't think there's anything in the rules that says we can't do that, and then that will be proof that we own the land. Look at what we've drawn on it: a big giant horse or something rude, like they did in the olden days, in Celtic times and other things. Yes. Easter Island. We could do some Easter Island heads. We'll do that. We'll make that, and we'll go. Sorry, Mr. Charles Selwyn Dixon Spain, you've sold this land to us, and we've decided as it is meaningless. It's meaningless, and you can't actually sell that tininess of land under Scottish law. But we've all decided to get together and put in some sort of claim, and then we all. So then we're all like. Yay! We've drawn on it. That's our land now. That's proof of that. Yes, Kernabus, I think it is, and there's also the White Horse in Wiltshire somewhere. I've got Wiltshire people in my family, so maybe my distant ancestors actually drew that great big horse and that big other one with the big bits and the things. Angus, yeah, yeah. Angus beef, yes. So, Ms. Elise Harris, hereinafter called the lady. That's what it says. I am hereinafter called the lady. Whatever it is, it's a big thing. So, this is in consideration of the good value paid to the laird of the vendor. The receipt whereof the vendor acknowledges the vendor as beneficial owner hereby conveys to the laird all that property described in Schedule the Second hereto, together with the right of access to the Dannons Castle ground and policies in perpetuity, forever, subject to the permits and permissions of the vendor. Hereby conveyed to the laird are rights of fishing, yes, and the river known as Altachaullclean, not speaking Gaelic, is it? That's probably completely wrong. During only those times of the year where such activity is permitted. I'm a Scottish lady. Yes, so there you go. Can't do anything with it, but I can go fishing. Hooray! Any questions? questions, one person, Midlands Goat. And people, you are free to comment. People that come to this later, comment in the comments about all the things that you know about being a lady or a laird and how that affects. I don't own a river, but I can fish in the river if I want to fish in the river. If I ever did. I don't own a river. Nobody can own a river because a river is flowing water, flowing, flowing, flowing. Who can own a river? It's never the same river twice. You can't cross the same river twice because it's not the same river. Is it? It's just... but I can get a trout in the river if I feel like it. Yes, hello. Hello, Chris M. Thank you, Laird Chris. Or Lady Chris. Are you a laird or a lady? Because I could be a laird if I want to. We all could. Or a lady. We all could. Because that's it. I was given the option. And it doesn't matter if you're a female or a male or something in between or something, whether you're gender fluid. You could call yourself a lady or a laird from this. I'm Laird of Edinburgh. Good. Do you actually have, oh yes, do you have a, you had landowners, then you are a laird. I don't, apart from this, that's deeper, not the river, yes, it is very deep. It's not me that came up with this, you know, the whole thing. I'm just making a noise here. So, if you own more than a foot of land, then you are a laird or lady, a lady laird, a lady laird lady. I am going to own a rock and a beach. If that's it though, right? If you get a big giant rock and then you put it on a beach and you own that, oh, that Chris, hello. I know you now. Yes, and you own that rock and you put it on a beach that you don't actually own. Do you now own that part of the beach because your rock's there? I don't know. Because Scottish law is different to British law, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't, that if you put a rock on a piece of land that you don't own, but you own the rock, and that sort of is a piece of land then, because rock is sort of land, but it's on a piece of land that you don't own. Or if you got some sort of big sort of, like a hammock effect, and you put it across two pieces of, like, if you owned a piece of land here and a piece of land here, and then you put another piece of land on top of it, sort of strung from the two trees, so that you own that piece of land, but it's over somebody else's piece of land, then you know, that's going to be, the rock is trespassing. But if you have sort of put it above the land, so that it's like 3 foot above the land, then your land is above their land. So their land, they can't do anything with it. You've sort of interfered with their airspace, but nobody owns the airspace, do they? Really, if you're 3 foot up in the air on somebody else's land, is that then your land above their land, and they've trespassed on your land because you're in the air above their land and they're trespassing underneath your land? This is all about fracking, isn't it? I mean, if somebody fracks underneath your land, then you've got no rights because they're underneath your land. So if you build on top of their land, then their land is still their land, but your land is the land of their land. So you could be a lord, a laird, or a lady above the... Yeah, but what about above that land? In the air, above that land? How far up do you have to build something for it to be not yours? Certainly in Scotland, yeah. Really? Yeah, Crown Estates. But I think actually there's a sort of thing like if you've got freehold or leasehold. I mean, there's a lot of people that have got leasehold houses, especially in London, and they don't own that actual land. Now, if I was going to buy a house, I would want a freehold land. But, hello Terry, hello Chris, hello Midland Scouts. So 3 people, hooray. Where was I going with this? Yes, if you have that freehold, then I think technically it still belongs to the Queen, even though you've got that freehold, because she owns everything, even if you own it, or something weird. There's something legally in law that you can't really do. The civil, yes, over a certain height, but really, really high up, the civil aviation, but in the middle, that's above. So there's a sort of in between. If you somehow manage to like make put a bit of land that could stretch quite a long way, like a bit of elastic, all the way from one coast to the other, so in sort of like disputed waters, and so that it would go over the whole of Britain, and then you would go, no, this is my land now, and all these people underneath me, sorry, yeah. And you could like make sure that it's sort of see-through land, so they still get some light and they can still grow stuff, but you're above them. And then you would be king of the air, but not as far as a plane, sort of in the middle. Yes, this is my plan to take over the world by building in the middle. It's a Middle Earth. I'm going to have the Middle Earth, and you can have the bit below, and you know, the planes can have the bit above, and I'll be Lady Laird of all the bits in between. That's how I will do. So I need to look at, so I know this Charles Selwyn Dixon Spain, Esquire, that's probably 6 foot above the land? I think probably not, because if we're flying 6 foot above people's land, then they probably would complain. But if that was now your land, what could they do about it? They could go, well, you've made it too shady. I mean, planning applications, like they have relaxed planning applications lately. So, you know, like next door to us built a sort of extension and said, oh no, it's fine. We didn't need any planning applications for it. And we looked up the planning applications, and they actually built higher than they should have done. And it wasn't exactly the planning application that they put in. What they actually built was really nothing like it. So there's a lot of shade in the garden there, whereas there wasn't before. But then again, they've got big trees, and they cut down some trees, so there's more light. Swings and roundabouts. More light from the trees being cut down, less light from the massive, huge extension that they said they didn't need planning permission for. They actually got, I think it was rejected, and then they put in another one that was exactly the same that I don't even know whether they did accept. Anyway, it's like, oh well, never mind. What can you do about it? Because, you know, they've really caused a shadow across the whole of our, it's not my garden, so there's not much I can do about it. It's not, I don't own it, I just use it. So, planning, and I don't know where I'm going with this really. I'm probably going to wind down in a minute, but this is Lady Elise here. Lady Laird, Lady Elise, Lady of Dunans. That's not a very nice title, Dunans. It sounds a bit bleh, really. But, yeah. I don't know, there's a picture of the, I don't know whether that's a picture of the castle, whether that's actually what it looks like, or that's just a romanticised version. It's a pretty castle. Not my castle, just that much land that I can't do anything with. Hooray. Anyway, this is Lady Elise, Lady of Dunans, signing off. I don't actually have any title on my cash card because I've made sure, because I didn't like being called Miss, and I didn't think Ms was appropriate. I'm not Mrs, so I went, hello, can I have no title? And that's really difficult to do, so I had to send it back. So now I've got no title at all. I am titleless. I'm without title. And that's quite rare on a cash card, so I could put Lady on it instead, but I don't want to, because I think preferably no title is better than any title. But I am a lady. What can I do? All right then. See you later. Bye-bye. I don't know when the castle becomes a ruin or a pile of locks. When it's a ruin or a pile of locks. A pile of locks? No. Anyway, yes. When you knock it down, it becomes a pile of rocks. Anyway, bye-bye.